Sharon Chen, our Beijing bureau chief, is in Chengdu. Sharon, what has changed in Chengdu on this Friday?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of attention on the U.S. consulate after the announcement that China is forcing it to shut down. There were many, it drew large crowds outside the consulate, lots of curious pedestrians looking to see what was happening. We didn't actually see any American diplomats leaving or any real activity, but security was extremely tight. There were dozens of policemen, army personnel, security agents patrolling the street outside the consulate, checking people's phones, checking their IDs, not allowing anyone to take pictures or videos. Everyone was just kind of on edge and waiting to see what's going to happen now that the announcement has been made.
Sure. What will happen next? I mean, is this it? It's one for one, or does this escalate?
I mean, it's very hard to tell. I mean, on this specific issue, the U.S. closed the consulate, China's closed the consulate, but there are so many other issues that the U.S. and China are in combat over. Everything from trade to Taiwan, Hong Kong, Xinjiang, Huawei. This is such a long list of things, and escalation could happen on any front at any time.
Sharon, explain to us the distance from Beijing to Chengdu, the distance from Shanghai to Chengdu. I mean, I think all of our viewers and listeners understand the distance from, say, New York or Washington, to name the city, or even the same in Europe and the United Kingdom. How far away is Chengdu for the Pacific Rim?
Sorry, I don't really know the numbers, but, like you said, Chengdu is in the southwest, and, it would be closer to Shanghai than Beijing.
I mean, it's a fascinating idea. What are the businesses of Chengdu that we risk with this economic sequestration? What is the economics or the finance that we will miss?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with the closing of the consulate, the main impact is on kind of the people-to-people relations between the U.S. and China. It's a big place where people go to get their visas processed. And right now, there are all these students and these workers who've been locked out of the U.S., and that obviously has a huge impact. But, Chengdu is also well known as a tourist destination. It's very well known for its pandas and kind of for its cultural significance.
Sharon, give us a sense of what President Xi is doing right now after Mike Pompeo, called him some pretty bad words. Does President Xi take offense, or is it just, this is kind of business as usual because it happens and he doesn't take it too seriously?
I mean, President Xi, his demeanor and his approach is obviously very, very different from what Trump would do. So it's very unlikely that we get some kind of reactionary statement or something that's kind of as inflammatory as what Mike Pompeo said. It's always very measured, and, when the Chinese speak, it's always in this kind of coded language, and they use terms to signify how serious they're taking it. I mean, I wouldn't really expect some kind of explosive statement.